everyone. It's Paul and Mike here, and we're going to go over another example deal. This is a deal once in a while you find in on the online auctions, and actually Mike and I run into this a lot. Sometimes you run away from it. Sometimes you run towards it because there's big opportunity here. So this is a property in Gillette, PA, and this is up in Bradford County. So it's, kind of sparsely populated, but it's got state game lands and everything around there. It's a nice, desirable area to live. Property values are very good. I think there's one property on the market right now. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for like 120, but you got pricing up to like 360, 380 because there's people that just have a lot of land, a couple acres, 5 acres, 10 acres and more. And just pretty nice houses on it. There's a lot of people that retire and live up in this area. And I'm just going to go through some pictures, this property, and I'll get into some of the details, but obviously it needs new skirting here. This is a double wide manufactured home, but it's not too bad in sections, and there's beautiful view, right? This is across the street. You got the nice view of the rolling hills here. It's got some rooms that are half decent and some that need some work. So it's a nice little combination here. But you can see it's dated. You can see it's beat. This could be from animals. Maybe need to replace doors. Definitely going to replace carpet. But again, this one piece bathtub. Usually you can clean these up pretty well. Maybe throw a new vanity in here. This is just a laundry room setup here. Kitchen's not too awful. Maybe clean this up. Put new countertops on here. Dressed up a little bit. Put new appliances. Yep. And it's a decent shape. A decent size. And there's actually spot on the other side will show, and big rooms, right? Nice big living room, bigger bedrooms. Have no idea the condition of the windows, but you see there's some, maybe need some insulation on there, some new drywall, paint, obviously for sure, and maybe some trim work needed. It's interesting that it has all these wood doors in here in a manufactured home, but they may have been replaced over time. This window may need to be replaced, but definitely a lot of paint and flooring. It's on 0.83 acres. And one of the interesting things about this house, almost all these double wides have this hot tubs in them that nobody uses, and the old, wallpaper. Yeah. And then you can see homeowner special here trying to put something on here to make it look a little bit different. Don't think this one has a fireplace, but it's got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
A classic, what we call a Wholetail example, right?
Exactly.
A lot of cosmetic updates, nothing major wrong. It's a nice double wide manufactured home on a permanent foundations. So it's a good deal on almost an acre of land.
Yep. And originally when I first bid on this, it was 42,000. They wanted to do it, and I backed out because they don't have the title. They don't have the title, right? This is a mobile home and you need the title. So in order to do this one, they're selling it with just the land and they won't insure the home. And I have a problem with that because, if we want to resell this thing, it's going to be a pain in the butt for us to go and resell it. Otherwise, we're selling at land value. So what I did is I found comps for them. It was a $60,000 sale of 4.31 acres, which I think came down to like $13,721 per acre, more or less. And this is just under an acre land. So I said, you're selling me land. Yeah, it has this house on it and everything, which is great. But now I got to go through quiet title, which could cost anywhere from, $500 to $4,000, depending on how long it takes to do this. Because what they may end up having to do is get the former homeowner, get a new title ordered, have them sign off on it. And then we retire that title, put it to the land permanently, and make it a part of the property itself. And then you increase the value there. So they wanted 35 after I negotiated 42, or after I'd offered 42. And I'm like, no, I just can't do this. So they came back to me again. I said, look, the only thing I can do, only way I could take this, I kind of looked at this one as that lovely Kentucky property, Mike. Yeah. But it's got more population in lovely Kentucky and easier to move properties there and higher values. I also said most I can do is 25,000 all in, buyer's premium and everything. I can't do more than that here. So we're going to see if they decide to go with that. And it might take a week or 2 or 3, but this is a perfect example of a property that you could make good money on, because if we did buy this, let's say we picked up for 25 and we put $30,000 into this property, you can call it 35 and you earn it for 60. You're probably going to sell this thing for somewhere between 120 and 160.
Yeah.
So you've got some value there, or it could be a great rental. if you rented this, you're going to be renting it for or anywhere between $1,000 and probably $1,300 a month in this area.
Yeah.
So
too.
Yeah, hunting area. Yeah, you could do it as like a hunting cabin, right? People can hunt anywhere there, fish anywhere there. So it's got a lot of options. So it's a nice possibility. And there's a lot of these properties like this on these auctions, whether it's Home or auction.com, Hudson Marshall, Hubzu, any of them, Realty Bid. Probably a lot on Realty Bid too, because we see a lot of those in rural areas there as well. So this is one that, you could do pretty well on, or you could sit on it for a long time. And Mike, you remember that lovely Kentucky? How long did we sit on that property, right? That was a long time.
Yeah, it was a few months, but, it ultimately finally moved. But, that's the risk you take in some rural markets when you don't have the population there.
Right. And it was hard to get a contractor there. Here's going to be much easier. I got a good realtor already on top of this one here to get me numbers for repairs, just in case we do something with this and do end up moving forward with it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Let's look at the year too. So I think this is built in 1999. I think you want for these manufactured homes, one of the markers is like 1992 and newer has to be for a lot of these mortgages to take place, to be able to get a mortgage on a property, where they look at it as an actual house, right? Manufactured house, not a piece of junk. The older ones in the 80s are hard to finance.
Yeah.
But no, this could be a good example of a nice property to get. You have any thoughts on it, Mike?
Yeah. The only other thing I would add too is when folks are analyzing a deal like this, make sure when you filter on your comps, you filter for manufactured properties, because they're going to be a different price point than a on-site or stick-built type of property. And then also be aware of the acreage, right?
Yes.
This one is just under an acre, but if you're comparing properties, you're not paying attention to acreage and it's 5 acres and you're thinking, I could get this high dollar value for it. You can't, because it's got another 4 acres on it potentially. Yeah. So that's two things to be aware of that, folks might not think of when going more rural with properties.
Yeah. And that's key, looking at how much land, because when you're rural, land is everything as far as the value. Right. That the house isn't necessarily, it's secondary in a way, because there's a cost for a house, but the amount of land, when we looked at some things, 20, 30, 40 acres, that has clout and power. There's ability to sell. There's people who want to buy it because they could develop it potentially if it's in an up and coming area and, make a good payday on it down the road. So there's builders that will look to buy those and hold those longer term. As a matter of fact, a good friend of ours, Ted Snyder, who also buys in online auctions, has, I think, about 20 acres in Florida, which he's working with a few different builders on selling right now. And they're going to be holding them for a little while and getting ready to develop them. So don't just turn this land down, or these properties in these rural areas. There is opportunities for them. No doubt about it. All righty, guys. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this one. We'll catch you on the next video.